practice question. This is one that came up, I think this was either 2020 or 2021. I can't quite remember exactly. To demonstrate polygenic inheritance in the color of wheat, a cross was performed between two intermediate parents that were heterozygous for every single one of the genes. Each dominant allele adds a unit of color to the phenotype. So what graph would depict the number of individuals and the number of phenotypes for the cross? So immediately you know that because there's 3 of them, there's going to be 7 phenotypes. You should know that from your notes. But if you didn't know that, I can teach you how to work it out. If you have 3 genes, so if it's a 3 by 3 cross, you're going to be getting, you're going to be getting either, oh my god, what is happening? Sorry, wait, there we go. You can get copies of every single capital or dominant gene. You can get a combination of 2 capitals, so A, B, B, C, lowercase c, and then alternatively A, B, B with one lowercase b, or a lowercase a, capital B, capital C. Alternatively, you can get 2 copies of a recessive gene and only one fully capital set. So you can get AA, BB, CC with lowercase b and c, A lowercase a, B lowercase b, C capital C, sorry. And then A lowercase a, B lowercase b, and B capital B, C lowercase c. Now with the phenotypes, the kinds of phenotypes that you would be expecting here are the darkest phenotype. This one would be slightly lighter because it's only got 1 copy of the recessive allele. This one would be lighter because it's got 2 copies of the recessive allele. If they had 3 copies of the recessive allele, so if that was A, B, B, C, C, it would be slightly lighter again. 4 copies of the recessive allele, so for example, A, B, B, C, C. 5 copies of the recessive allele is your next level of lightness, so A, B, B, C, C. And then finally 6 copies of the recessive allele, so A, B, B, C, C would be your next stage of lightness. So all in all, we've got the darkest shade, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different phenotypes. And that's where the 7 occurs on the bar graph. Now, this is the question that I was talking about, the one that came up in 2021. This is for blood group inheritance. So you've got 3 alleles, O, A, and B, with O being recessive and A and B being dominant, determining blood type. It is known that A and B are codominant inheritance, and the father who is a heterozygous for type A, so they have IA, little I, and the mother who is heterozygous for type B, so that is IB, little I, have children together. Predict the likely frequency of phenotypes for their offspring and show your working. So in order to do a prediction for genotypes, you're required to do a Punnett square. The father I'm going to do up top, and the mother I'm going to do on the side. And draw the Punnett square. The first offspring that we get is AB, second is B little I, third is A little I, and fourth is little I. So the frequency of the phenotypes, now you've got to express them as either percentages or fractions. Both of them are equally accepted. But it's 1/4 or 25% type AB blood, because this is phenotypes, right? You want to be saying like what the trait is, not the gene. So type AB blood, 1/4 or 25% type A only, 1/4 or 25% type B, and 1/4 or 25% type O. And you get 1 mark for giving all of the Punnett square correctly, 1 mark for stating the correct frequencies, and 1 mark for making sure that you're linking the frequencies to the phenotype and not the genotype. So it's not enough for you to say like, oh, 25% IA little I. That's not a phenotype. You're not answering the question. So make sure you are answering the question to what they ask you. Another way that inheritance can be assessed is through understanding how inheritance is passed on. So describe what is meant by the genotype of an organism. This is the combination of alleles that you get from the mother and father. A gene from mother and father. That one's nice and easy. The second dot point, inherited mutations can affect the genotype of the offspring. Describe how this occurs. This is actually the third dot point in the inheritance topic. And basically, mutations that occur can only be inherited by the offspring. Can only be inherited by offspring if they are mutations in the sex chromosomes. In the sex cells, sorry. If they are mutations in sex cells, so gametes. If the mutation helps with the survival of the organism or is not a diseased mutation with survival, it will be passed on to the offspring. It will if the mutation is, we call this deleterious or unbeneficial, as in it's a mutation that is a disease of some type or doesn't help with the offspring survival, it will not be passed on to the offspring. Onto the offspring. If passed, a new allele enters the population and can be passed on to all of the other generations. So in this one, you get 1 mark for saying that mutations can be inherited by offspring if they're in the sex cells. So here. And the second mark comes from just saying that mutations are only inherited if they are beneficial for the survival. So I will just take this opportunity to say that's the end of the inheritance topic. And so we're going to be going into biotechnology soon enough. I'll tell you back very, very soon, I promise. And if you do have any questions about